Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Here we go, people. About to kick off the Tinker Day. See, I'm telling you, man, some of you guys are friends. Man, my brother wouldn't pull all his stuff out of the garage and put my car in there. I just don't see that happen. But here it is, Gilbert. Got my car in the garage. The nice Volvo's outside, the BMW's outside, and Lemonade's in here. The raggediest car within 100 yards is in the garage. But anyway, we about to do some tinkering on that S70. Gonna fix 3 or 4 things here in the next couple hours, and I'm planning to leave Nevada today, head back to Cincinnati, take care of some things there, and then I'll fly back out here to Nevada and resume my trip. So that's where I'm at. Let me get this car out of the way so that we can do the water pump and the radiator on that S70. Lemonade been sitting here a good little while. Man, I hadn't started this thing or nothing. Been here at least a week, maybe more. Let's see if she fires right up. Let's go. See if the battery's still strong. Fires right up. No ticking or nothing. Go Lemonade. Still got an ABS light back there. AC still cycling. That didn't fix itself. Let's get this thing moved. Well, here we go. We're planning on doing a water pump only. Not the belt, just the pump. Belt's new, pump's old. The radiator, it's leaking. We seen that yesterday. Looked like coolant icicles hanging off the radiator. We're gonna fix this door check strap. We glued together the door panel yesterday, so we're gonna put this door panel back on. We're gonna fix the tilt wheel thing on there, and then we're gonna install that lower panel there. So we got a few things we need to do. Hopefully have them all done within 3-4 hours. Had the stuff done by noon. It is now, I guess, 7:44 according to that clock there. I had Gilbert order a water pump. I knew that was original, but it looks like that roller's original and this one's original too. Fortunately, I got those 2 parts here with very little wear on them, so I'm gonna use those. But yeah, needed to have that. I might want to replace that tensioner as well. That thing's probably all original. Only thing somebody did was came in here and replaced the belt. Sad situation. Notice a couple things down here. One, now this mount is failing. The head of the bolt's touching the rubber. 2, the harmonic balancer is deteriorating, the rubber in it, so that needs to be replaced. 3, that guide pin is coming out of that harmonic balancer. I wonder if somebody pulled that off and didn't put that in right. I'm going to see if that'll tap in. So those are probably going to be a couple things we deal with soon. And somebody's got an aftermarket oil filter on there. I have no idea why that's on there when the previous owner was a Volvo guy. Get that timing on. The mark right there. The mark right there. I'm going to go ahead and take the tensioner loose. Take this top cover loose. And keep it moving. Well, so much for that. That belt got more crack on it than the people down on MLK. Hope I got a belt in there. If so, we'll replace it. If not, we'll go to the store and get one. Man, look at the cracks in that belt. When somebody tell you the timing belt's been replaced, so they were told, you gotta check for yourself. That would not have lasted 20,000 miles. Man, I probably put 1,000 on it almost, or 300 on it in a week. Looks like I finally got all the gasket material off of this thing where I could put this pump on it smooth enough. Got a little bit of staining. However, I will say this. I think Jesse figured out a good formula for this. If you have the Volvo gasket on, you want to heat the engine up before you start tearing this down, and the gasket comes off on the water pump, I believe is the formula. If the engine's cold, it gets stuck either or. Now, it's not as gooey as that other thing that people put on there, that black gasket, but comes off a lot more complete onto the pump if the engine's hot. So I think I'm going to edit my video, toss that in the video, and hopefully that'll benefit people. Trip to the salvage yard was a fail. We went there to cut a piece of sheet metal out of the door so that we can fix this door check strap. And one we tried to cut was cracked. Then another one I went to get, Dremel couldn't cut through all the metal. End up bending it, cracking it. So we end up going to Home Depot and getting this metal, plain steel, 16 gauge. And we're going to cut a square out of this and form a piece to support that door check strap. So that's what we're going to do. But first I need to finish up this timing belt water pump job. I need to go find my tools in the back of the car to compress the tensioner or grab a tensioner out of the back of the car and get this timing belt stuff back together, change this radiator, so I'll be ready when Byron and Elizabeth wants to go to lunch. I'm running behind schedule. Well, we seem to have a little bit of a timing issue that may be affecting fuel economy. Down there, I got my crank pretty much right on. It's just maybe, man, not even a half tooth advanced. Up here, I guess about a half tooth advanced. Looks a little more than a half tooth. And my triangle is advanced just a little bit. Back here, I'm a half tooth, a solid half tooth, and I look a little advanced on the cam adjustment. So really, I should put a cam locking tool on here. I don't know what's going on with it. I should put a cam locking tool on it and double check it that way. Don't have it with me. I'll probably do that when I come back. That may be messing up my fuel economy. So I'm going to roll this cam back just a little bit. I'm going to loosen those 3 bolts, roll it back just a smidget, and I'm going to roll that one back at least a half a tooth and tighten it back up. See what that does for my performance and my fuel economy. I've already rolled it over a couple times. I'm right on the edge on this belt. But sometime when you fire it up, it changes the speed, puts that stuff back where it should be. So that's where I'm at, ready to drop this radiator. Dealing with a busted out door check strap thing on the door. And what we're going to do is cut a piece of sheet metal and drill the 2 holes for the door check strap. As you can see, this one's busted. It busted the door. They kept going. They didn't stop. They kept going. Destroyed the door. So we purchased some sheet metal, 16 gauge metal from Home Depot. I'm going to make a little pattern. I'm going to cut that pattern out. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to glue it and rivet it in place here. And then we're going to put the replacement door check strap in and see how it works. So I made this pattern I'm going to cut out of this sheet metal. This is the sheet metal I got from Home Depot. Something like $7-8. So I'm going to tape this to here and I'm going to cut this out of here and I'll measure this thing and post it and go from there. I have this pattern on here. We're going to cut this square out, drill holes, and cut this deal out here so that we can put it on the car and get it all smoothed out. Also, There's metal folded under here. I'm going to try to straighten all this out as best I can so that it's flat, because I'm going to glue that on here and screw it on here with the door check strap part. I drilled those 2 holes and I dremeled this piece out in the middle. Now I could file a little bit of the sharp edges, make sure nothing's going to be able to cut anyone. Do the top and the bottom side, and then we're going to grab the door check strap, see if it fits through there. My drilled holes are just a little bit too small. It fits too tight. I don't want it fitting that tight. So let me drill that out just a little bit more, and then I'll be ready to cut this edge and put the piece on the car. We're going to cut this with the Sawzall. Then we're going to bolt this on here and then drill small holes around it to rivet to the car. I bolted the door check strap to the sheet metal. I drilled 8 holes. We're going to put 8 rivets around there. I just wanted to make sure these holes cleared the door check strap frame thing. So let me go ahead and cut this out. I'm going to cut it with a Sawzall. Willie Gilly got a Sawzall. I'm going to go ahead and cut this with the Sawzall, and then I'm going to prepare the surfaces for the epoxy. I used the stone on the Dremel to rough up the bottom surface that's going to be glued with the epoxy, metal bonding epoxy, and I roughed up that surface too. So I'm going to wipe these 2 down with a dry cloth. I'm going to put this in place, bolt this down right here like this, and then I'm going to drill these rivet holes through the door skin of the car. I bolted the metal plate to the car like that. I drilled out the 8 holes on my rivet. Now I'm going to remove these 2 screws, drop this down out of the way, pull this plate off of here, and stop drill the cracks. You should always get a small drill bit and stop drill the cracks. Then I'm going to clean up the underside again, clean up the plate, lay the epoxy down, bolt this back in, and rivet it in. Now I did tap this around with a hammer so it can kind of take the shape of the skin of the car. Then you can prime it and paint it. Put your little tape over this, prime it, paint it so that you don't have any rust build up. Took this little drill bit here, found the crack, drilled a little hole at the end of that crack. You don't want these cracks to run, and that's the only way to stop them. Putting that little pilot hole at the end of them. So now we're going to clean this off with some brake parts cleaner. Clean my plate off. I've lost my plate. Oh, here it is. Clean the plate off with some brake parts cleaner. Make sure the stuff clean and dry. Then apply the epoxy that we got here. Clear weld. It's better to get stuff that's metal, that you know is metal, and like a auto body bonding metal, but we're going to try this. And the rivets will hold it in place for the most part. So let me go ahead and clean this off and mix this up, spread it on there, and rivet this thing in. Got my rivet gun, got my rivets right there, and we'll show you in a second what it looks like done. And there you have it, folks. We got 8 rivets in it. You could do as many rivets as you want. It's got reinforcement plate. I tapped it down. It's epoxy. We're going to go ahead and hang it and let you know how it works. You'll see the date the video's posted. We'll let you know if it breaks. We'll post a hey it broke video. If it ever breaks, we'll also post the date in the description area letting you know how long it held up. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.